My sister treated her daughter terribly. When I finally learned the reason, everything in our family fell apart. For 3 years, I watched my sister Becca scream at her 8-year-old daughter Violet for the smallest things. A spilled glass of water would trigger a 30-minute tirade. A B+ on a test meant Violet got grounded for weeks. At family dinners, Becca would critique every bite Violet took, every word she spoke. Sit up straight. Stop breathing so loud. Why are you always so needy? Violet learned to make herself invisible. She'd sit perfectly still at the table, barely eating. She stopped asking for help with homework or showing us her drawings. When I'd try to give her a hug, she'd flinch. My mom would pull Becca aside and beg her to ease up. "You're being too hard on her," Mom would say. Becca's response was always the same. "She needs discipline. You wouldn't understand." The breaking point came last November. I stopped by Becca's house unannounced and found Violet locked in her room, crying over a failed math quiz. Becca was in the kitchen, drinking wine at 2 p.m., muttering to herself, "I can't do this anymore. I can't keep looking at her." That's when I noticed the photo albums spread across the counter. All photos of Becca's ex-husband Nathan, Violet's father. I picked one up. Violet looked exactly like him. "She has his eyes," Becca said flatly. "His smile, his laugh. Every time I look at her, I see him." She explained how Nathan had destroyed her, how he'd gambled away their savings, cheated with her best friend, then abandoned them both when Violet was an infant. He never paid child support, never called. He simply vanished. "So, you punish Violet for existing?" I asked, horrified. "I'm not punishing her," Becca snapped. "I'm trying to make her better than him. I'm trying to make sure she doesn't turn out like him." I called my mom that night. We had an emergency family meeting without Becca. Dad wanted to confront her. Mom suggested therapy. My brother thought we should report her. But none of us knew what to do. Violet wasn't being physically abused. There were no bruises, no evidence. Just a mother who couldn't love her daughter because she looked like the man who broke her heart. I started spending more time with Violet, taking her to museums, helping with homework, showing her she mattered. Becca allowed it, probably grateful for the break. Violet began to open up. She told me how she'd heard Becca crying at night, saying she wished she'd never had her, how Becca would sometimes stare at her with such hatred that Violet would hide in the closet. 6 months later, I filed for temporary custody. The social worker interviewed Violet, who described years of emotional abuse. Becca was devastated. At the hearing, she broke down, explaining everything about Nathan, about the pain, about not knowing how to separate her daughter from her trauma. The judge ordered family therapy and gave me temporary guardianship. That's when Nathan called. After 8 years of silence, he'd somehow heard about the custody battle. He wanted to meet Violet. He wanted back in her life. Becca's worst nightmare was coming true, and I had to decide whether to let him. I stared at his number on my phone for 3 hours before calling back. His voice sounded older, rougher around the edges. "I know you have no reason to trust me," he started. "But I've changed. I'm sober now. 3 years clean. I have a job, an apartment. I want to know my daughter." "Where were you?" I asked. "For 8 years, where the hell were you?" Silence. Then, rock bottom. Prison for 18 months on a DUI. Rehab twice. Living in my car. I was ashamed. I didn't want Violet to see me like that. "So you just disappeared?" "I thought she'd be better off without me." I hung up, called my lawyer immediately. She said Nathan had legal rights as Violet's biological father, regardless of his absence. If he petitioned for visitation, the court would likely grant supervised visits. That night, I sat Violet down. She was curled up on my couch reading a book about dragons. 9 years old now, still small for her age, still flinching at loud noises. "I need to talk to you about something important," I said. She closed her book. "Is Mom coming back?" "No, sweetie, this is about your dad." Her face went blank. "I don't have a dad." "You do. His name is Nathan, and he called me today. He wants to meet you." Violet's hands started shaking. "Why?" "He says he's changed, that he wants to know you." "What if he leaves again?" Her voice cracked. "What if he sees me and doesn't like me? What if I'm the reason he left in the first place?" My heart shattered. This child had spent her entire life believing she was the problem. "Listen to me," I said, gripping her shoulders gently. "Your father leaving had nothing to do with you. He had problems, adult problems. And your mother's anger isn't your fault either. You didn't do anything wrong. You understand?" She nodded, but I could see she didn't believe me. 2 weeks later, Nathan filed for supervised visitation. The judge reviewed everything and granted him 1 supervised visit per month at a neutral location, with me present. The first visit was at a family therapy center downtown. Nathan arrived early, wearing khakis and a button-down shirt. Without his beard, I could see how much Violet looked like him. Same nose, same chin, same deep-set eyes. Violet gripped my hand so tightly my fingers went numb. "I don't want to go in," she whispered. "I'll be right there with you," I promised. Nathan stood up when we entered. I saw his eyes fill with tears the moment he saw her. "Hi, sweetheart," he said softly. "I'm your dad." Violet said nothing, just stared at him like he was a ghost. "Did you leave because of me?" she asked suddenly. Nathan's face crumpled. "No," he said through his fingers. "No, baby girl. I left because I was sick. Not sick like a cold. Sick in my head. I was an addict. I wasn't strong enough to be your father, so I ran away like a coward. Why did you come back now?" "Because I finally got strong. Because I've been thinking about you every single day for 8 years. Because I want to be your father, if you'll let me. Can I ask you something?" "Anything. Why didn't Mom love me? The room went silent. Nathan's face went pale. What? Mom? She never loved me. She was always mad at me. Was it because I look like you? Your mom loved you very much, Nathan said carefully. But I hurt her badly. And sometimes when people get hurt that badly, they can't see past the pain. When she looked at you, she saw me. That's not fair to you. It's not right. But that's what happened. Do you love me? Violet asked. I don't know you yet, Nathan said honestly. But I want to. Will you let me try? Violet thought about it. Then she walked over to the toy corner and picked up a puzzle. You can help me with this. They spent the next 45 minutes working on a puzzle together. When the hour ended, Violet actually looked disappointed. In the car, Violet was quiet. Then she said, He's not scary. No? I thought he'd be scary. But he was just sad. I reported everything to Becca that night. She listened without interrupting, then asked, Did she like him? She didn't hate him. They did a puzzle together. A puzzle. Becca laughed bitterly. I couldn't get her to sit still for 5 minutes without criticizing her. And he shows up after 8 years and they do puzzles. Becca. I'm not mad. I'm just seeing how broken I was. The visits continued. By the 4th visit, Violet was actually smiling around him. 6 months later, Nathan petitioned for unsupervised time. The judge granted him 4 hours every other Saturday. Becca showed up at my apartment at midnight, pounding on the door. I found her on my doorstep, mascara streaming down her face, clutching a half-empty wine bottle. You're letting him take her, she slurred. I'm not handing her anywhere. This was the judge's decision. You could fight it. I did tell them. They know everything. Then why is he winning? She stumbled inside. Why does he get to walk back into her life and play hero while I'm the villain? You're not the villain, Becca. You're sick. You need help. I am getting help. Therapy 3 times a week. But it doesn't change the fact that I've spent 8 years destroying my own daughter. You didn't destroy her. She's strong. Because of you, not me. Becca sank onto my couch. I swore I'd never be like my mother. And then I looked at Violet and saw Nathan. And all that rage just transferred. Like a virus. I took the wine bottle away and made her coffee. In the morning, I drove her back to our parents' house. Mom met us at the door with worried eyes. She needs to go to inpatient treatment, I said. She refuses. She can't handle it on her own. Becca finally agreed to treatment in March. 30 days at a facility specializing in trauma and addiction. She called me before they admitted her. Take care of her, she said. Don't let Nathan turn her against me. That's not going to happen. And tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I love her. Violet adjusted to her new schedule. School during the week with me, every other weekend with Nathan. She started therapy too. The therapist said Violet was remarkably well adjusted given everything, but had deep abandonment issues. She's testing everyone constantly, the therapist explained, waiting for people to leave. Nathan never missed a visitation, never showed up late. When Violet tested him, and she did, he stayed patient. One Saturday, she deliberately spilled juice on his couch. He just smiled and said, Accidents happen. Let's clean it up. Another time, she told him she hated him. He absorbed it calmly. That's okay. You're allowed to be angry with me. I'm not going anywhere. In April, Becca completed her program. She came home quieter, softer somehow. Mom said she was continuing therapy, attending AA meetings, taking her medications. She wants to see Violet, Dad told me. I brought it up with Violet over dinner. Your mom finished her treatment. She's doing better. She'd like to see you. Violet's fork stopped. Why? Because she loves you, and she wants to apologize. What if she yells at me again? She won't. I promise. And I'll be right there. She thought about it for 3 days, then agreed, but only for 30 minutes. The reunion was at my parents' house. Becca was waiting in the living room, looking thinner, older. Her hand shook when she saw Violet. Hi, baby, she said softly. Violet hid behind me. I just wanted to see you, to tell you I'm sorry, for everything, for every harsh word, every punishment, every time I made you feel small. You didn't deserve any of that. Why did you do it? Because I was broken. I let my pain become bigger than my love for you, and that's not your fault. It was never your fault, but I look like him. I know, and you're beautiful. You're smart and kind and brave. You're nothing like the mistakes he made. Violet stepped out from behind me. Are you better now? I'm trying to be. Every single day. Are you going to yell at me again? I hope not. But if I do, I want you to tell me, because I never want to hurt you again. Okay. They sat there, 6 feet apart. Finally, Violet asked, Do you want to see my drawings? Becca's face lit up. I'd love to. The visit stretched to 2 hours. By the end, Violet was sitting next to Becca on the couch showing her drawings, not touching but close. When we left, Violet said, She's different. Good different or bad different. Just different. Softer. We set up regular visits. Once a week, supervised by me or my parents. Slowly, Becca and Violet began to rebuild something. It wasn't what they'd had before, but it was something new, something gentler. By summer, we'd settled into a rhythm. Violet with me most of the time. Every other weekend with Nathan. Wednesday evenings with Becca. It was complicated, but it worked. Then in July, Nathan called. I met someone. Her name is Grace. We've been seeing each other for 3 months. My stomach dropped. Does Violet know? Not yet. How serious is this? Serious. I love her. Give it more time. 6 months at least. But Violet found out anyway. She overheard Nathan on the phone. When he got off, Violet was standing in the doorway. Who was that? She asked. Nathan sighed. A friend. A girlfriend friend? Yes. Are you going to leave me for her? What? No, Violet, no. Having a girlfriend doesn't mean I'm leaving you. You're my daughter. That comes first. But the damage was done. Violet came home anxious. In therapy, she finally broke down. Everyone leaves or finds someone better, she cried. Mom couldn't look at me. Dad left for 8 years. Even you'll probably get married someday and won't want me anymore. I knelt in front of Violet, gripping her hands. Listen to me. I will never abandon you. Never. You could live with me until you're 30 years old and I'd be thrilled. Promise? Absolutely promise. She cried into my shoulder for 20 minutes. The therapist said this was progress, that Violet finally felt safe enough to express her deepest fears. I started dating someone that fall. Christopher worked in tech, liked hiking. On our 3rd date, I told him about Violet, about the custody situation. I'm basically a single parent to a 9-year-old with significant emotional trauma. If that's a deal breaker, tell me now. Christopher thought about it. Can I meet her? Eventually, if this goes somewhere. We dated for 4 months before I introduced them. Christopher brought board games and listened to Violet talk about dragons for 2 hours. After he left, Violet said, "He's okay." Nathan introduced Grace a month later. Grace was a kindergarten teacher, warm and patient. She taught Violet how to braid hair. Violet liked her immediately, which somehow made me irrationally jealous. Grace isn't replacing you, my therapist said. Yes, I'd started therapy too. She's adding to Violet's support system. That night I sat with Violet on her bed. Can I tell you something? She put down her book. Sure. Having you in my life has been the best thing that ever happened to me. Taking care of you isn't a burden, it's a privilege. Violet's eyes welled up. Really? Really? You've made my life better, not harder. Better. She hugged me tightly. I love you. I love you too, kiddo. By October, Becca had been sober for 8 months, was back to work part-time, and had her own apartment. We started longer visits. 4 hours, 6 hours, dinner, and a movie. One evening, Violet spilled juice at Becca's apartment. The glass shattered. Violet froze, face going pale, waiting for the explosion. Becca took a deep breath. It's okay. Accidents happen. Let's clean it up. After Violet was in bed, Becca called me. I almost lost it. For 1 second, I felt that rage. But then I remembered. It's just juice. None of it matters more than my daughter. I'm proud of you. I'm still fighting myself every day. That's what makes it count. Thanksgiving was the first time we all gathered together in 2 years. Nathan and Grace came. Becca came alone, nervous. My brother brought his family. We crowded around my parents' dining table. Violet sat between me and Becca, anxious. But disaster didn't come. We just ate turkey and pretended everything was normal. At one point, Nathan said to Becca, "Thank you for sharing her with me. I know how hard that must be." Becca looked at him for a long moment. She deserves to know her father, even if he's you. It wasn't forgiveness, but it was acknowledgement. By December, Becca was cleared for overnight visits. The first time I dropped Violet off, she gripped my hand. "What if something goes wrong?" she whispered. "Then you call me. I'll come get you immediately. Promise?" "Promise." In the morning, I picked up Violet. She was tired, but okay. We made pancakes. Mom only burned them a little. Progress. Slow, painful, incremental progress. Christmas was easier. Violet got presents from everyone. Becca gave her a stuffed purple dragon. "It's purple," Becca said nervously. "Like your name." Violet hugged the dragon. "I love it." "Really? Really?" I watched them, these 2 people learning how to love each other, and felt something shift. Hope, maybe. That lasted exactly 3 weeks. In January, Nathan called. His voice was shaking. "I need to talk to you, in person." We met at a coffee shop. He looked terrible. Dark circles, hands trembling. "What's wrong?" I asked. "I got a letter from my old bookie. I owe him money. A lot of money. From before I left. And he wants it now." "How much?" $85,000. I stared at him. "You owe a bookie $85,000? It was $30,000 when I left. Interest compounds. He's threatening to come after me." "What does that mean?" "These aren't nice people. They've sent photos of Violet, of my apartment. They know where she goes to school." Ice flooded my veins. "Are you telling me my niece is in danger because of your gambling debts?" "I'm trying to get the money together. I need more time. You need to go to the police." "I can't. If I report them, they'll come after me harder." I wanted to scream. After everything, Nathan's past was coming back to destroy us. I called my lawyer that afternoon. She said we could file for an emergency modification based on threats to Violet's safety, but that meant Nathan would lose visitation rights, possibly permanently. That night, I sat Violet down. "We need to talk about your visits with your dad." She looked up, alarmed. "Why?" "He's having some problems. Adult problems. Until they're sorted out, I think you should stay here." "Is he leaving again?" "No, it's not like that. He just needs time to fix some mistakes." Tears filled her eyes. "Everyone keeps leaving. Everyone keeps saying it's temporary, but it never is. This is different." "That's what you all say." She ran to her room and slammed the door. "Christopher broke up with me in March. I can't compete with this. You're so consumed with Violet and Becca and Nathan. There's no room for me. I was too exhausted to fight. You're right. I don't have anything left to give you." He left. I cried for maybe 5 minutes, then went back to helping Violet with her science project. I filed the emergency motion. The hearing was brutal. Nathan presented evidence of a loan, statements confirming a payment plan, character witnesses. But the judge was skeptical. "Mr. Nathan, You disappeared from your daughter's life for 8 years. You've been back for barely 1 year, and you've exposed her to potential danger. Why should I believe you're capable of keeping her safe? Because she's everything to me. I know I messed up, but I love my daughter. Love isn't enough. Children need safety, stability. The judge ruled Nathan could continue supervised visits only at a neutral location. No more weekends at his apartment. We'd gone back to square one. Violet took it hard. I don't understand. He didn't do anything to me. Why is he being punished? He's not being punished. We're being careful. You're being mean. Everyone's being mean to him. We're trying to keep you safe. I don't want to be safe. I want my dad. The next few months were rough. Violet was angry, withdrawn. The light had gone out of her eyes. Becca surprised me. When I told her about Nathan's debts, she said, "What can I do to help?" What? Violet needs stability. If Nathan's out temporarily, his absence will affect her. I'm her mother. I should step up. Are you sure you're ready? No. But Violet needs family right now. It was the most responsible thing I'd heard Becca say in years. By spring, Nathan had paid off enough debt that the threats stopped. He petitioned again for unsupervised visits. The judge granted them, cautiously. But Violet was distant with him now, guarded. "Why do you look sad all the time?" she asked during one visit. "Because I miss you. I miss the way things were before. You ruined it." "I know. Then fix it." "I'm trying, baby girl." "I promise I'm trying." Becca was thriving. She'd been sober for over a year, working full-time. Violet stayed with her most weekends. They'd developed routines. Saturday morning farmer's market, Sunday afternoon movies. One Saturday in May, Becca called panicking. "Violet's not here." She left a note. "I'm going to find where I belong." I called Nathan. Not there. Called my parents. Not there. I was about to call the police when my phone buzzed. Violet was at a park across town. I drove like a maniac, found her sitting on a swing set, alone. "Violet," I said, kneeling in front of her. "What are you doing?" "I don't know where I'm supposed to be," she said quietly. "Everyone's trying so hard, but nobody's happy. Nobody actually wants me. They just feel guilty." "That's not true." "Yes, it is. You gave up your life for me. Mom is forcing herself to love me. Dad feels obligated, but nobody chose me." "Not really." My heart shattered. "Violet, I chose you. Every single day I choose you. Because you have to. No, because I want to." I gripped her hands. "You are the best thing in my life, not the hardest. The best. Do you understand?" She started crying. "I just want to belong somewhere." "You belong with me, always. You are my family, you are my home." She collapsed into my arms, sobbing. We sat like that for 20 minutes, both of us crying, in the middle of an empty playground. When we got home, Becca was waiting, frantic. "Is she okay?" "She's okay," I said. Becca looked at Violet. "I'm sorry. It's not your fault," Violet said quietly. "Can I hug you?" Violet nodded. They embraced, tentative at first, then tighter. Summer brought victory. Violet's therapist said she was finally processing her trauma in healthy ways. She was drawing more, writing stories, expressing herself. Nathan and Grace got engaged. Violet was a little jealous, a little excited. Becca started dating someone from her AA group. Harold was kind and quiet. Violet liked him. 4th grade started. Violet made a best friend named Iris. She joined art club, started to laugh more. One night she said, "I think I'm okay now." "Yeah, not perfect, but okay. That's all any of us can ask for." By Thanksgiving, 2 years after the custody battle started, we gathered at my parents' house. Nathan and Grace, Becca and Harold, my brother and his family, Violet and me. We went around sharing gratitude. Violet said, "I'm grateful for second chances, and for people who don't give up." She looked at me. I felt tears prick my eyes. December brought Violet's 10th birthday. We had a party. Both families, her school friends. She laughed the entire time. "This is the best birthday I've ever had," she said later. "Better than last year?" "Last year was good, but this year everyone was happy. Nobody was pretending." The year ended quietly. New Year's Eve, just Violet and me, watching movies. At midnight, we clinked our glasses. "To next year?" I said. "To family," she echoed. January brought the final custody hearing. The judge reviewed 3 years of reports. "It's clear this child is thriving. She has a strong support system. I'm granting permanent custody to her aunt, with joint legal custody shared with both biological parents." It was done. Official. Permanent. Outside, Violet hugged me. "Does this mean you're stuck with me?" "Happily stuck with you." We went to lunch after, all of us together, celebrated with burgers and milkshakes. For the first time in 3 years, nobody was fighting. We were just a family, broken and rebuilt. Imperfect, but trying. That night, tucking Violet into bed, she said, "I love you. I love you too, kiddo. You're my favorite person in the whole world." My heart swelled. "You're mine too. Do you think Mom will ever be okay? Like really okay?" "I think she's getting there. And Dad. Him too." "What about you? Are you okay?" Was I okay? I was exhausted, stressed. My personal life was non-existent, but Violet was safe, happy, healing. "Yeah," I said. "I'm okay." She fell asleep smiling. I sat in her doorway, watching her breathe, thinking about how much had changed. 3 years ago, she'd been a terrified child, convinced she was unlovable. Now she was thriving. The years that followed brought more healing. I started dating Alex, who had a daughter of his own. He understood complications. Violet liked him, By her 6th grade year, middle school had arrived. Lockers and changing classes. Violet navigated it with surprising grace. Nathan and Grace got married. Violet was a bridesmaid, cried during the vows. Becca reached 2 years of sobriety. We celebrated at her favorite restaurant. I'm proud of me too, she admitted. That's new. Thanksgiving gatherings became routine. Same house, similar people, but everything different. I'm grateful for my weird, complicated family, Violet said during one toast, because even though we're messy, we're us. By 7th grade, Violet had a boyfriend, Felix, who shared her love of fantasy and drawing. Nathan got weird about it. I reminded him she was 13, let her have innocent crushes. In March, I got engaged to Alex. Simple proposal, just us and the kids. Both girls cried happy tears. We planned a small wedding. Violet helped pick decorations, insisted on purple dragons as a theme. Purple dragons? I asked. It's your wedding. Make it fun. The wedding was in October. Violet was my maid of honor. During the vows, I looked at her, so grown up in her purple dress. We'd come so far. At the reception, Nathan and Becca actually had a civil conversation about Violet's future. She's going to be something special, Nathan said. She already is, Becca replied. That night, Violet found me on the porch. Thank you for saving me, for giving me a real family. You saved yourself, I just stuck around. I love you. I love you too, kiddo. Alex and his daughter moved in. 2 teenage girls sharing space, learning to be sisters. Normal family chaos. Nathan and Grace had a baby. Violet was obsessed, constantly visiting. Becca reached 3 years sober. She'd built a real life, stable job, healthy relationship. The years continued. High school brought more independence. Violet joined drama club, started thinking about colleges. Senior year, Felix asked her to prom in an elaborate way involving 30 drawings. Prom night, I helped her get ready. You look beautiful, I said. You have to say that. You're my mom. I paused. She'd never called me that before. Always aunt, never mom. Did you just call me mom? I asked carefully. She blushed. I mean, you've been my mom, more than anyone. Is that okay? I started crying. It's more than okay. Good. Because that's what I'm putting on all my forms. Mom. Graduation came in June. Violet gave a speech as salutatorian. I used to think I was broken, she said from the podium, that I'd always be defined by my trauma. But I've learned that healing is possible, that families come in all forms, that love isn't always simple, but it's always worth fighting for. Everyone applauded. We all cried. After the ceremony, we had a huge party. It was loud and chaotic and perfect. Thank you, Violet told me, for everything, for taking me in, for fighting for me, for never giving up, for being my mom. Thank you for letting me. College applications came. Acceptances, scholarships. Violet chose a school on the West Coast. She'd study illustration and concept art. Moving day came too fast. We drove across the country, me, Alex, Nathan, Grace, Becca, Harold, filled 2 cars. We moved her into her dorm, said goodbye. I cried the entire drive home, but she called every few days, sent photos. She was thriving. I love it here, she said. It's scary and hard and amazing. The years passed. Violet changed majors to art therapy. I want to help kids like me, kids who've been through trauma. I want to show them that art can be healing. She graduated at 22, got a job at a hospital working with pediatric patients. This is what I was meant to do, she said. She met someone, a kind person who worked as a teacher. They got engaged. Will you walk me down the aisle? She asked. I started crying. Of course. Not Dad, you, because you're the one who raised me. The wedding was beautiful. She'd asked everyone to play a role, but I walked her down the aisle. Thank you, she whispered before we started, for choosing me, for fighting for me. It was the easiest choice I ever made. At the reception, Violet stood up. I want to say something. Everyone quieted. I've had a complicated journey. Multiple parents, multiple homes, a lot of trauma. But I also had something most people don't have. A team who refused to give up on me. She looked at each of us. Especially you. She looked at me. You saved me. You taught me that families are built, not just born. That love is a choice. That healing is possible. She raised her glass. To second chances. To messy families. To choosing love. To all of us. To all of us. Everyone echoed. Years later, Violet had children. I became a grandmother. I watched her parent with patience and love, breaking cycles that had plagued our family for generations. On her 40th birthday, we gathered again. 3 generations. 20 years ago, I was lost, Violet said. I felt unwanted, unloved, broken. But here I am, married, mother of 2, living a life I never imagined possible. She raised her glass. To the family that refused to give up. To the mom who chose me every single day. To all of us. To all of us. We echoed. That night, Violet hugged me tightly. Thank you for everything, for my entire life. Thank you for letting me be part of it. I held my daughter and thought about the journey, about choosing love, about refusing to give up, about building families one day at a time. It hadn't been easy. It hadn't been clean, but it had been worth it. Every single moment had been worth it. We'd chosen each other, over and over again. Through pain and healing, through mistakes and growth, we'd chosen each other. And that choice had made all the difference.